back with our first conversation here this morning. Joining us via Zoom, we have the co-founder and CEO of Truly Turmeric by Naledo, Umeeda Switlo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Belize. I'm way in Vancouver, so it's really it's nice and warm there, is it?
It's nice and warm. It's been raining on and off for the past few days, but still hot.
Okay, good.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to join us. I know you're an hour behind, so it's about after 6 in your time. But we're here to talk about Truly Turmeric, and we kind of have been experimenting with different organic roots for the past few years here in Belize, especially during the pandemic. But talk to us about what makes turmeric so special. Why dive into this business?
First of all, why dive into this business was that I found this turmeric in Belize, in southern Belize. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Williams in Maphrodite was growing it, and the size of it was magnificent. And I couldn't believe the size of it because I had seen little fingers before in Canada. And we found out that the turmeric in Belize, in southern Belize, is Alipay turmeric, and it is the best turmeric in the world. 7.6% curcuminoids. Those are the active agents that help you with things like arthritis and other diseases. So anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. So turmeric is a brilliant food. You can add it to anything. And when we prepare our Truly Turmeric, we put coconut oil, fresh squeezed lime juice, cold pressed coconut oil, fresh squeezed lime juice, and sea salt, and and black pepper as well, which makes it very bioavailable. So if you were just to have turmeric powder, the powder would have about 1% curcuminoids, but when you have our Truly Turmeric, it's 7.6%. So you get powerful medicine.
And,
that's it.
And how long has Naledo and Truly Turmeric been operating, and what's the journey been like to get to where you are today?
Oh, it's been very interesting. I started off with the youth department as an advisor, and then explored these opportunities for each district. And then government didn't do anything, so I came back and did it myself. What's it been like? It's been amazing working with 350 small-scale growers, our team of 8 in Punta Gorda. So has it been an easy journey? No, it's not an easy journey. It's been challenging, especially because I'm not Belizean. I had to come there and start afresh and learn so much about your country. But it seems like Belize adopted me, I hope.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about what made you come and what made you stick around for a while.
So what made me come there was, I don't know whether you know this, but I'm a refugee from Uganda.
Yes.
That went to Canada. And so there is something about Belize that reminds me about Uganda. And so it felt like home. And what made me stick around? The farmers, the people, and the turmeric.
So we're talking about your particular product in specifically Truly Turmeric, and is it only the paste that you have? What other products can we find from your line of products?
Okay, so from our beautiful paste, we have really expanded to turmeric beauty line, which we have a face pack and a turmeric oil, which is really good for people that have blotchy skin, or pimples, or acne and things like that. And then we have juices that we launched, and now we're going to launch our turmeric leaf tea. So that's coming soon when I get back. And we've also started making turmeric powder, very high grade powder. We sent our first export to Jamaica just the other day.
Wow. So talk to us about Naledo. I know that it's part of it is because you were living in Toledo, but give us the general scope of why Naledo.
Oh, why the name Naledo?
Yes.
Oh, it's easy peasy. So it's Narina is my daughter and my business partner, and Toledo. So just made the NA.
We've been seeing your products. I've seen your paste on the shelves. Are your other products, the oils and the powders and so forth, is something that we can find in stores here in Belize?
Yes, the beauty line for sure, but the powder will wait a while because we are really don't want to compete with small Belizean home businesses that are making turmeric powder, but and so we're exporting the powder. But if we see a demand in the country, we certainly will.
Okay. And what was it like starting with the beauty line? Because you know that is a whole different process than preparing products, you know, for consumption.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the beauty line, first of all, I just want to say that Belizeans received it with astounding happiness. It was just like, bye, bye, bye. And we make it cheap, so it's very affordable. So making something like that is really something that a small part of our team does. They specialize in that. Romelia and Bilkis do that work. Ali, sorry.
Talk to us about working with the members of the different communities in the South. So I know that you started off in Toledo, but talk to us about the community, how it is to work with these different community members, and how did you get them to work with you?
All right. So first of all, we didn't know how much turmeric was growing in Toledo, so we really did go out there and hunt. And when we did that, we met in our 20 villages in Toledo, we met some amazing people. So we have Maya Kechi, Maya Mopan, we have East Indians, and some Creole, and some Garifuna growing turmeric. And what do they like? Well, I'd say the Mayans are really amazing at working together as a family and getting things done quickly. They're resilient. Well, actually, all of them. I think that the farmers that we work with are amazing human beings. You know, they grow all kinds of foods, and I think they deserve a great deal of respect. So when they come and they deliver the turmeric at our office, we are very grateful, and so are they, because they get 7.5 times the fair trade price for their turmeric. So it's a good living for them. And they're sending their kids to school. They're using the money in positive ways.
I read on your site that you talk about sustainable growing. So
Yes.
does that come with their traditional knowledge and techniques, or is that something that Naledo has invested in with the communities?
So here's the story. So turmeric, this Alipay turmeric ended up in Toledo because of the East Indians that came there as indentured servants. And it was the one spice that grew like crazy. So it took over in the forests, and it just grows very naturally and very well in Toledo. So what we spoke to the farmers about was, please don't slash and burn, don't use pesticides or herbicides, and don't water, but plant trees, so that for every 1,000 pounds we buy, they have to plant 10 trees. So that it grows under forest cover. So it was not a complicated process, because a lot of the farmers that grow in that area prefer to grow that way.
Okay. So I'm looking at the screen right now and I'm seeing all of these different products. Where did you begin to experiment with different fusions that would pair really well with turmeric?
When we introduced turmeric in Canada, we are truly turmeric. We would do trade shows and we try and experiment with unusual ways of showcasing the turmeric. So we put it in hummus. Then we made a lemonade that was a real hit. So when people would try it, they'd say, "Wow, where can we buy this?" And we'd say, "Not yet." and then we'd be influenced by the Belizean style of putting hibiscus or sorrel in a drink, and my gosh, the Canadians like that too. And then we tried carrot mango, and they loved that too. And you know what? We put mint in there, and the Belizeans loved that. So we found a way of bringing all these beautiful tastes together with those juices, and launched it in Canada, and then sent some down from Canada to Belize to just test drive it, and they sold out. So now we're going to make a new product with the leaf of the turmeric, which is the first of its kind in the world.
Wow. Are you going to talk to us more about it, or we have to stick around to find out?
Stick around, it's coming soon.
So, Umeeda, we talked about your products and how you export and import from Belize and to Canada and so forth. But do you export worldwide? Where else can we find your products?
Okay, so recently we sent a shipment to Jamaica, as I was saying, the powder, and also to Guatemala, which was thanks to Marie Sharp and Joe. That was a really nice export, quick. We sent it to Switzerland. It's in England, in the United Kingdom, and it's in, oh my goodness, I'm losing track of places where it's in the US. So on Amazon, in Canada, US, and UK, and then in other stores or in those countries too. Am I missing any? I would love to be able to export as much as Marie Sharp does. She is an inspiration.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to export as much as Marie Sharp does.
But
Jody, her grandson, is extremely helpful to many people with other businesses when we get stuck with something.
Well, that's great. So, and even though you spoke about this a little bit before, what have you found has the response to the rollout of the different products been, both in Belize and abroad? Like, I'm sure that perhaps even more perhaps abroad, like people might be unfamiliar with turmeric and the products. So how's the response been?
Okay, so in the world, they do testing. They talk about different products. So one of the highest trending products in the world for the last 4 years has been turmeric. So it's not like we have to tell people what turmeric is. What has happened is people my age, we're getting older and we're getting arthritis and we're getting this and that. And so we're trying to discover more natural ways of looking after ourselves. So my generation is a huge part of the population in the world, and they are all interested in turmeric. So that's not been hard. How to use it, a little bit more difficult. And also in Belize, the hardest part was getting distribution. We had distribution in Canada and the US before we had it in Belize. We had to do it ourselves most of the time. But Circle R stepped in, and they're doing it for us now, and they're doing a great job.
I see it all over, well, particularly your paste. I haven't seen your beauty products in the stores as yet, but I've seen your pastes. So
It's just taking a bit more time. And also the beauty line, we do it's very special, so we have to do it in small quantities.
I would really like your oil and your mask. And my producer is saying she wants one too.
Send it to you. We'll send it to you.
So I'm curious about what is next for Naledo. I know that you've been traveling a little bit. Can you tell us more about your trade shows in Paris and in London?
So, Beltrade represented us in Santo Domingo recently. We were invited, and the trip was paid by Caribbean Export. And then Caribbean Export and the Canadian government through Can Export sent us to London. Now that was pretty amazing. We were at a specialty food store, and Narina, my daughter, managed to get to meet the manager of Fortnum and Mason.
Oh, wow.
La di da. That's the Queen's grocer. There's a corridor from their place to Buckingham Palace. So Fortnum and Mason said they would love to have it. So that's like the best store in the world.
Wow.
So London was quite successful, and now we're getting ready to go to Paris. And that is the biggest trade show in the world for food.
Wow. Tell us about it.
The one in London had probably 500 booths. The one in Paris, Cial, has 7,000.
Wow.
There are people from all over there. Apparently, about 250,000 business people in the food business attend. So that means I have to get my voice ready, keep my Belizean earrings on.
How long does it take? Does it last? Sorry, because 7,000 businesses. How does one even canvass through all of that?
Well, so we have the crowd canvassing through us. So we're one of the 7,000. Okay. So it's a 6-day event.
Okay, that makes sense.
6 full days. These trade shows are, if we didn't have the support of Caribbean Export and Can Export, we wouldn't be able to do those. These are super expensive trade shows. All the companies that attend there, they probably spend like $250,000 to do these. And what Caribbean Export does is it brings together like 10 or 12 companies, and Can Export sends several companies.
How do you prepare for such a trade show like that? I would imagine you would have to bring enough products to last the 6 days. And
so the key is because it's industry, you don't give away a lot of product. Actually, the more you give away, the more risk you take, because there are a lot of people that would just love to copycat you.
Yeah.
So really, it's about figuring out whether the person is really who they say they are.
Yeah.
And whether they're really interested in the product, and then you look for their credentials.
Yeah. How does Truly Turmeric stay ahead of the curve? How do you stay in the competition, and regardless if somebody tries to copycat you, how do you continue to be your authentic self?
Oh, okay. So our story is authentic. It's a mother-daughter team that comes to Belize. The story about our growers and how it's grown, and our team. You gotta keep authentic, and the world is looking for that. They're looking for products that are environmentally consciously grown with communities where there is cooperation. And I have to tell all business people that if you're as old as I am, you gotta have somebody young on your team. Because that young person, Narina, standing next to me, is incredibly innovative. So whenever I get stuck, she's the one who says, well, what about this? But you have to make sure as a company you focus on what your goal is. And ours is the Truly Turmeric paste. And you don't venture out constantly. You take very precise maneuvers.
And yeah, and actually I was going to ask about that too. You know, what the experience is like working with your daughter and building, you know, Naledo to what it has become today.
So I think yesterday was International Daughters Day. So I'm a single mother. My husband passed away 30 years ago. And Narina is 35, sorry, around 35. She is an anthropologist. She is so good with so many things. All the media, photographs, and all that stuff, that's her. The words on her website, that's her.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get difficult. It's actually beautiful because you can, you know, as a family member, you have a way of communicating. But I do get, Mom, shut up sometimes.
So I know we've talked about your trade show, we've talked about new products. Is there, and then we have to stick around and wait for that secret product that is coming out from Truly Turmeric. Umeeda, do you have any final words for our viewers about Truly Turmeric and what is next for Naledo?
So I would hope that Naledo continues to grow in its exports. It's good for Belize. I want to say that just generally speaking, that doing business in Belize has been challenging in the past. It's improving. You know, as we went more during COVID, more electronic, it allowed us to do so much more. And I want to say to women and young men, young women and young men who have an idea to start it small and grow it slowly. That's what we did. We started in a hotel room, and now we have a little factory. But I love Belize, and I just want to big up the people in Belize. I learned that, big up.
Yeah, big up. You have to big up your people, yes.
I'm bigging up my people, and it's wonderful that Belizeans, I think, accept me as part of the team, and that they know that I'm trying to make a difference in a community that really needs it. Toledo really needed that, but there are treasures in Toledo that you wouldn't believe that grow there. And Naledo has got its eye on looking at more of those treasures.
Oh, wow. How often do you visit? How often do you visit?
Visit Belize?
How often do you visit Toledo? Yeah.
Oh, I don't just visit Toledo. I live there.
Oh, oh, you're visiting Vancouver.
That's right. I go back and forth, and I really feel like Belize is my home. It's complicated because I have a life here and a life there. But when I'm here in Canada, I'm still working on Naledo with my daughter. And when I'm there, I'm working, you know, making sure everything is going okay. But we have a great team there. I love them. They've been with me for years.
Well, next time they have to come on show in person when Umeeda can't make it.
Oh, I would love that. I would, if I had a little more warning, I would have sent them out to you. And you know, to the Belizean media, thank you for caring about this company and our products and our team. Every time you do something like this, those 350 growers get more people that know about their products. And Belizean turmeric, yellow ginger. Can I just end with something?
Sure.
Yes, of course.
Me ma say, yellow ginger, it's good for you. You better believe she.
I love
Did I do that?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Umeeda, and we can't wait to see what else Naledo has in store. You have to come back to tell us about that secret product, and I'll wait for my mask. I'll wait for my oil, and I'll wait for my mask.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day, Umeeda.
Thank you.
And with that, we are going to go into our second short break, and we'll be back with more OIE. So stay tuned.